Hey friends, welcome to day 8 of our Little by Little May Art Challenge, painting a fun and whimsical flamingo today, starting with basically a wonky letter S for the head and neck. And I started out very thin, and then I'm just going to be thickening it up as I go, and I'll tweak it here and there as well. And then with just not adding any more paint or water, I'm just flicking out the color that is remaining on my brush and having a fun little body and feathers, just kind of keeping it light and whimsical and just playful. The color I'm using today is Madder Red from my Paul Rubens set. I will try to remember to link everything that I'm using in the description if you're interested. Otherwise, use what you've got. And I'm just going to kind of shape the body a little bit more here. And yeah, as far as supplies, I have everything in my intro video. I've got a playlist of all the days if you've missed any of them, including the introduction day, telling you kind of what this is all about and what we're using. And you can use whatever colors you want. Everything is still wet here, by the way, and I'm just darkening it up. I have not let anything dry yet, and just dabbing in the same color here and there. And now it's all dry. And you can see that's actually a pretty nice color. I like it, but I also wanted to darken it. So I started out kind of slowly, not sure where exactly I wanted to darken everything up. And pretty soon here you'll see I decided to just darken all of it and make it a more vibrant color. I do not have a specific reference photo that I'm following for this. I looked at several, and if you've seen flamingos or look up the images, you'll see there are so many variations of colors. There's a beautiful orangey, coral, pink, all the things, light pinks, dark pinks. They're just so fun and beautiful. So just have fun with the color, whatever you've got. I was just keeping it simple. You could use multiple colors as well, but I just wanted to use a color right out of the pan. And I have let this completely dry now. I've decided to shape the head a little bit, and if you'll notice the little white spot that I left there, was intended initially for where I was going to place the eye, but you'll see in a little bit that it wasn't quite the right spot, but I made it work. And darkening things up again. And see, I'm kind of just putting little indications of feathers in there. And obviously, we're not going for photorealistic. That was probably the understatement of the century there. And after I reshape the head a little bit more here, I'm going to let it dry completely. And my brain works a little differently than some people's, so this might not make sense, but I'm putting kind of just a little triangle down here to where the tip of the beak would be in my eyes. It might be more helpful for you if you drew it in, like the shape of the beak that you wanted. I'm bringing in my Micron pen. I thought it was a 05, but it's actually 005, and it takes me quite a while actually to figure that out. But I am just drawing in the black lines kind of that go throughout the beak often. And then I decided to just kind of pull it all together. And it actually turned out quite well that I had this really small nib, and you'll see that more here in a little bit. All right, now I'm adding some pink, same color as the body, into the beak because that is a common thing. And I got too much water, so I'm drying my brush off just on the paper towel, and it then acts as a sponge. And I just pick up some of that water, and then we've got our pink in our beak. Loving how that's looking. I love flamingos. I think they're so fun. I've only seen one at the zoo. So if you live in a place that has flamingos, how fun is that? All right, coming in with yellow. Everything's completely dry. I've got yellow on my brush, cadmium yellow medium to be exact, from my Paul Rubens set, and just dotting that where I think it should go. And now I'm coming back in with my black paint, which to be exact is coal black from my set here. And I'm just darkening in that beak. You could, if you want a little bit more control, you could do that with your pen. And just a note about the pens, by the way. You want to make sure if you're going to be adding paint after your ink details, you're going to want waterproof pens. So I just used the 005 on the eye, which turned out to be really great because I think a larger nib would have probably messed the eye up a little bit. So I'm glad that I accidentally used that size. And now I'm just going to kind of scribble in some legs here. Still have not realized that I picked up the wrong size of pen, but little did I know it was working in my favor. I did start thinking, why are the legs so skinny and why am I having to scribble so many times back and forth here, up and down? And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, 005. Okay, fine. So I just kept going with it. But anyway, and then putting in some wobbly knees. Again, I didn't study the flamingo. I just kind of looked at a few photos and not looking at them as I paint and draw this in. I am putting an indication that there is water there that the flamingo is standing in. And I'm going to speed you up here just for a little bit as I outline the body because I'm actually going to do it again with the size 05 pen here because the 005 was just a little bit too light for me. And you can see the larger nib just makes the lines more apparent and bolder, and that is what I like to see. And I'm just going to kind of go over some of the things and just make everything stand out a little bit more. So just play with this and do it until you like what you see there. And now I'm going to bring in some white details with my size 10 jelly roll that I use often. And you can see this just adds to the whimsy and brings in some more contrast and highlights and just, I think, makes it more playful and fun. And you just take it less seriously. In my mind, I take things less seriously after I've scribbled in lines, or even as I'm scribbling in the lines, it just helps me to be more playful and more free with everything. I just love the pen details so much. Coming back in with my black pen just to make the legs stand out a little bit more, and the feathers as well. Just sometimes it's nice to take a step back, look at it, and see what you might want to add. All good. Darkening up underneath, giving the legs a little more reinforcement where they connect to the body, and really liking what I'm seeing here. I think she's pretty sweet. And then tweaking more because sometimes I can't stop. All right, ending with some splatter to add even more whimsy and help you to take it even less seriously. And there you have it. I hope you have fun with this, and I hope you'll join me tomorrow for day 9.